Welcome to Will It Build, the series where I take your builds from my YouTube comments and Discord server and put them to the test to see if they are the real deal. If it's solid, then I'll gift you 1,000 silver, and if it's really something special, you'll be featured in a dedicated build video for your submitted build. So comment yours below so we can answer the question, will it build? Will it build episode 2 of 2024. In the last episode, we had a very rare occurrence where we did not die to spikes a single time. I want to see how many episodes of Will It Build we can keep that streak alive. Also gonna have another giveaway for y'all. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Right now, I just want to get straight into the build. We got one from Dagrian. They call it Will It Build Besto for Resto. They say it's a Warlock Void subclass. Super is user's choice. You guys know me. Whenever I'm walking with Void, I like to go Vortex. I just like it a little better than Cataclysm. Problems with Cataclysm, you know, your teammates can't shoot through it. It can get blown up midair. Not a big fan of it. I like going Vortex. Up to you if you prefer Cataclysm. For the exotic weapon, they're recommending we go with Telesto, which I said in the previous episode. I love experimenting with builds where they kind of give us funky exotics that you wouldn't typically use. So the Telesto aspect of this definitely caught my eye. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and maybe want to go ahead and try this out. Also got the Catalyst for it. Looks like the Catalyst just increases the ammo reserve. So I feel like you probably don't have to have that. But probably helps out a decent amount. Also got fusion, projectiles attach and detonate with a delayed void blast. And then for this perk here, multi-kills with this weapon immediately reload your equipped kinetic and energy weapons from reserves. So I think that means that Telesto will self-reload because Telesto is an energy weapon. So is it phrased like this because this exotic was introduced to the game in year 1 when fusion rifles were in the power slot? As far as our exotic armor, they're recommending that we go with Rain of Fire, which is interesting because if I recall correctly, Rain of Fire, all that it does is it reloads your weapons whenever you do an air dodge, but Void doesn't have an air dodge. So if we look at Rain of Fire, indeed, air dodge reloads all of your weapons and improves the airborne effectiveness of fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles. However, we don't have an air dodge. It does say that final blows with these weapons make you radiant. So this is a way for us to get radiant while using fusion rifles. I know that this season, it's pretty easy to get radiant with the artifact mods, even if you're not on solar. You got stuff like Flint Striker, radiant if you get solar weapon precision hits or rapid solar weapon final blows. But we're not always going to be in this season. I know we're in the season for a very long time, but maybe somewhere down the line in Final Shape, when you're looking for a way to get radiant on the Void subclass, Rain of Fire plus a fusion rifle build is the way to do that. Speaking of which, I'm just now noticing that we actually have to infuse this guy. As far as the rest of the build, they're recommending we go with Child of the Old Gods with Empowering Rift and Feed the Void. So if we come over here, first things first, Empowering Rift, we'll go ahead and have Child of the Old Gods, and we'll have Feed the Void. Now, Feed the Void is the only way to get Devour in its pre-nerfed state, where every single kill will fully heal you, as opposed to only healing 100 HP. So I love that aspect of this. Also get Devour every time we get a Void ability kill to activate it. We also get additional grenade energy, as opposed to just a little bit of grenade energy with every kill, so we're probably gonna have our grenade up pretty frequently. Also, Child of the Old Gods, where when we cast our Rift, we create a Void Soul, and when we damage a target, Void Soul runs over to them and weakens to them. While it's siphoning those enemies, if we're running Empowering Rift, that siphon will go ahead and give us some health. The one thing I'm wondering right out the gate with this build is if the idea is that we're gonna have Radiant up pretty frequently, I feel like having Empowering Rift is a little bit redundant because it's just going to give us the same damage buff that Radiant is going to give us. So I might look to switch to Healing Rift down the line if I feel like I want a more reliable source of healing. And instead, then I'll get Grenade and Melee energy when the Child of the Old Gods siphons targets. We'll talk about that as we get into the video. We'll see. I'll let you know. For now, we're going to go with what they recommend. As far as fragments go, we have Undermining, Instability, Persistence, and Remnants, along with a Vortex Grenade. So we're going to make sure we go ahead and have our Vortex Grenade on. We already have Undermining right here. Instability, I believe that's so our Void weapons get volatile rounds whenever we defeat targets with our grenades. They're also recommending Persistence so that we can increase the duration of our Devour buff. So if we go ahead and look over here, Persistence is that one. Remnants, which is, I believe, if I recall correctly, going to increase the duration of our damage over time AoE grenades right here. Lingering grenade effects such as Vortex Grenade has increased duration. works for me. As far as our mods go, let's see what we've got going on here. They're going to go Special Ammo Finder and Harmonic Siphon into the mod slot. Make sure we have Special Ammo Finder, Harmonic Siphon, which we already have on. That leaves us energy to go ahead and have another mod on. I think I'll go ahead and stick with Dynamo for now, although we might switch this up. This is completely dealer's choice. You could run something like Ashes to Assets instead if you would like. For arms mods, they are recommending triple bolstering detonation, which is kind of interesting. Bolstering detonation, remember, is a mod where every time you deal damage with a grenade, you get a chunk of class ability energy. And we can actually see exactly how effective triple bolstering detonation is if we come to the Destiny data compendium. We can kind of scroll around over here. So we got right here bolstering detonation. So with 1 copy we get 12% of our class ability back, with 2 copies we get 17, and with 3 copies we get 20%. I'm not sure if I love the 3% increase from 2 mods to 3 mods, so I might down the line see if I can swap out bolstering detonation for maybe another ability regeneration mod, so I can get 17% for my class ability and then maybe another 12% for a different ability, as opposed to only 20% for my class ability. We're always going to start with what they recommend, but I'm just kind of letting y'all know in advance what's running through my head as we're putting this together. As far as chest mods, they just say 1 concussive dampener. Obviously we have room for much more than 1 concussive dampener. I think we'll do a concussive dampener. I'll try a harmonic reserve so we have a little bit more Telesto ammo, and then maybe a harmonic resistance as well so we can reduce some incoming void damage. On the boots, they're recommending double void weapon surge, so that makes perfect sense to me. Boost up that Telesto damage. And for class item, they're having us with Reaper and Powerful Attraction. Now, I believe with Reaper and Powerful Attraction, we'll be able to use another mod, so I'm just going to go Bomber personally. Again, you can use whatever works for you. I am noticing we're at 96 Resilience. I definitely want us to be at tier 10 Resilience, so we can juice up this minor Resilience mod into a regular Resilience mod. They'll take us tier 10 Resil. They say as far as the gameplay loop goes, the goal of this build is to get as many kills with grenades and 1 kill with Telesto to activate 3 buffs at the same time: Devour, Volatile rounds through the Echo of Instability, and Radiant through our Rain of Fire exotic boost, so that all Telesto damage increases to ridiculous amounts for boss DPS. They also say for primary, please use something with Osmosis or Permeability or Ad Clear. Is Permeability a perk? Please use a primary with Osmosis or Permeability. Is Permeability... What is Permeability? Permeability, look at that. On class ability usage, changes weapon element to match subclass until stowed. Okay, I have never heard of that. Do I have anything with that? Permeability. I don't even own a gun with that, so we're just gonna find something that has Osmosis instead. I don't have anything with Osmosis except for Traveler's Chosen. I don't have anything with Osmosis except for Traveler's Chosen, which I unfortunately can't use. Seasonal weapons can be crafted with it? Can they? Okay, do I have any seasonal weapons that can... The Lithophobia? Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have any primaries with Osmosis or Permeability, so I think we're just going to have to rock and roll with something that does not fall under those categories. I think it'll be okay. I feel like those 2 perks are perks that people typically don't use super often, so I think it'll be good to kind of see how it performs without those. I think I'm rambling now. I think we'll be fine. Right before we hop in, big thanks to Tiger and Shammy, 2 individuals that were watching this live, twitch.tv/Mactics. We film all these live. We'd definitely love to have you stop in. As far as the giveaway goes, I'm gonna have my editor go ahead and flash it on screen right now, but we made a bunch of Destiny-themed card decks we were talking about earlier. Pre-orders are unfortunately closed for these, but I did order an extra 50 of them so I can give away a ton of them in videos. So we're going to give away 1 in this video to someone who likes the video, someone who is subscribed to the channel, and someone who comments down below what weapon that can have either Osmosis or Permeability do you think would be good with this build, because frankly I don't even really know any weapons that can have those perks. So comment that down below, like the video, be subscribed, comment down below Osmosis, Permeability, what weapon do you think would be solid with this build. We'll pick a winner, get this shipped out to you. Hope you enjoy it. Look how scared my teammates are. Let's go. Oh no. Oh, we're gonna make it like an episode and a half without dying to those. There is no way that this lasts for a while. Okay, so they said the Telesto is going to be primarily for the orange bars, but we can also just kind of shoot it at some enemies and kill a red bar with it, because that's what's going to give us radiant, right? So we also want to make sure we have Devour up, and we need to get a kill with a Void ability to be able to get Devour. So go. Maybe get a Rift down, Child of the Old Gods. Okay, there's our Devourer, and so now we just need to continuously kill some enemies. Because that'll allow our Devourer to continue to go, and that'll actually get us our grenade back a little bit more quickly. A lot of people don't know this about Devourer. It doesn't only full heal you, it also gives you a chunk of grenade energy for every single kill that you get. So that if you look at my grenade right now, boop, boop, and we get another grenade to throw, boop, and you actually end up getting your grenade pretty fast as long as you're killing a decent amount of enemies while you have Devour. You get more energy depending on the rank of the enemy as well. So if you kill like an orange bar compared to a red bar, you even you end up getting a little bit more than you would typically. So works out pretty well. Let's go ahead and sauce that guy with a Nova Bomb. So right out the gate, I see what they were saying. Use the Telesto to go ahead and take out some of the orange bars. But I'm also thinking Telesto to take out some of the trash mobs is also going to be pretty decent as well, because that's what is going to allow us to keep up Radiant. So I think the idea is going to be to kind of like blast an enemy with Telesto. That'll give us Radiant, and then we can pull out our SMG and start hammering away at all the other enemies. Another thing I'm noticing right out the gate as well is I think I was kind of wrong before. Previously, I said that I felt like the Empowering Rift was maybe a little bit redundant, because theoretically you're going to have Radiant up a lot, and you don't really need Empowering Rift in conjunction with Radiant. But I also think that Healing Rift would be kind of redundant, because the entire point of this build is to have Devour up all the time. So why would you really need a Healing Rift if you're full healing on every single kill? Just a little moment of appreciation for how pretty Telesto is. How many of you remember that Telesto-based event where people were shooting Telesto bolts into the air and trying to look at the patterns in them to try and look for constellations to see if there was some secret puzzle? And then it just turned out to be an emblem code and a shirt that Bungie was selling on their website. Oh man, what a day that was. So let's go ahead and sauce a Nova Bomb. It's a Vortex Nova Bomb, so as long as the boss kind of stays in it, they're going to get chipped away. I'm going to kind of run over here, plant the ground with some Telesto, and then we'll go ahead and kill a bunch of these dudes so we can get our grenade energy back. I actually want to kill a trash mob. Actually, I don't need to, because I'm in my Empowering Rift, so I have the same damage buff that I would have from Radiant. So I actually don't need to worry about killing a trash mob at that particular moment. I think if I pick up an Arc Cranium as well, right, and I deal damage, don't I get my super quickly? I do. super quick. Alright, let's see. I'm going to use my Telesto. We're going to kill this guy. That'll give us Radiant, and maybe get a refresh on our Radiant. Cool. So now we can just walk up and sauce the boss with our Telesto. Here in a second. I want to try and get an ability kill so we can go ahead and get Devour. There we go. That'll allow us to get our grenade going a little bit more frequently. And I just got sauced by that Harpy, so I want to kill an enemy so I get a full heal from Devour. Kind of running around killing all the ads. Let's get a Nova Bomb on this boss right here. Should do a solid amount of damage, and then the Vortex should continue to tick away. Where'd it go? Keep Devour up. Let's get some Radiant and kind of paint the ground. Go ahead and chip away. Ooh, you know what I feel like would feel really nice with this build is the Target Lock Retrofit Escapade. Maybe instead of the Commemoration, which, do I have that on my... Yeah. 4 times the charm, Target Lock. So right out the gate, I'm not entirely sure how I'm feeling about the Telesto specifically for boss DPS. I think it's really solid at being able to acquire the Radiant buff. So I think I'm viewing the Telesto more as a weapon that's meant for blasting enemies so you get a Radiant buff while you're on a Void subclass, as opposed to doing the damage itself. So I think the way I'm kind of shifting my mindset with this build is I want to kill an enemy to get Radiant, and then once I have that Radiant buff, I can pull out my other weapons like my SMG to do some pretty solid ad clear on squishier enemies. Or then I can, while I have Radiant, pull out my Target Lock machine gun to blast a boss. First things first, I want to get a kill with my grenade here so we can get Devour. Let's get our Child of the Old Gods out on the field as well. Got our Devour going. And squishy enemies get the SMG. And tankier enemies can have the Telesto. So here we have some enemies. So I'm going to open with a Telesto kill so we can get Radiant. And it doesn't really matter who I kill with it because I get Radiant no matter what. And then this is where we can pull out our target lock because we have Radiant now. I'm wondering too if our idea right now is to kind of look to use this build as both a combination of a good void heavy weapon and a Telesto because we have those void surges. It might also be fruitful to try and throw on a harmonic reserves so we can make sure we always have ammo in these weapons. So I might see if there's space. There's not really space to throw on a harmonic reserve though because we have the double surges and I don't really want to drop one of them. Scavenger. Ooh. That's a good enough bomb right there. I mean, the Telesto damage isn't horrible, but I also wouldn't classify it as great either. We currently have this resilience mod. If I transfer this resilience mod into a minor resilience mod, then I can go ahead and fit a harmonic scavenger. And now we're going to get a lot more ammo out of each brick, which is going to fuel our Telesto and our machine gun a lot better. So we'll fusion rifle that guy. That's going to give us our radiant buff. And then now that we have our radiant buff, we can go ahead and absolutely annihilate the boss. Okay. I feel like this is a good... I'm going to use the Telesto, kill someone, get radiant. Then for a tankier target, we go ahead and whip out the target lock machine gun and just blast them. Big kudos to Bungie, by the way. Whoever designed this activity and the moats within the activity, I feel like we never give Bungie credit for this. In my opinion, moats in literally any activity feel absolutely horrible because it feels like they take like 9 years to pick up after they've been generated. But these moats are not only instantly scavengeable once they hit the ground, but whoever made these at Bungie also implemented some sort of like physics to them so that it's impossible for the moats to fly off the edge. Oh yeah. No bomb. And then hopefully kill something with our Telesto. There we go. There's our Radiant, which means we can annihilate this wizard. And then we should be able to one-shot this wizard with Telesto. There's one down. They're buff and then get out because we can't really survive if we fight that wizard head on. They do way too much damage at close range. But we can set our Empowering Rift from a distance and go ahead and pepper this one with Telesto. Actually not doing bad damage. I think I kind of underestimated the damage of it originally. Because these wizards are really, really, really tanky. I feel like we really burned through that one pretty quickly, so it was too harsh. Okay, I probably should have switched focus to kill Scion because I would have full healed from Devour. But now that my Devours are gone, I need to play a lot more carefully. Yeah, this is definitely where the Osmosis weapon would come in handy big time. Unfortunately, we don't have it though. So, nonetheless, still able to take out that wizard. Alright, so we have our Devourer. Let's get a Undermining Grenade on this boss so we can get some weaken on it. And I kind of want him to face me so I can blast him in the face with the target lock. Only downside is I wish I had a trash mob right now to shoot and get Radiant. And we're getting some mobs to spawn, so I'm going to blast one with Telesto and get Radiant. And then we can Nova Bomb. And absolutely cook this dude. So we got Radiant. And he's weakened, because our Nova Bomb hit him. And 4 times the charm, of course, refunding us a ton of our ammo. Now our Radiant's gone, so let's see if we can find another Scion to kill. Got a ton over here. There's our Radiant again for 8 seconds. And we can continue to kill. I like this build a lot, so this is kind of interesting conceptually. Because this is a build that can dish out both the weaken debuff and the Radiant buff. So when you put it all together, I think you're overall like a consistent 50% damage increase or something of that nature. Somewhere along those lines. Staying our Empowering Rift, so we have that nice 25% damage buff. 4 times the charm doing work. I love how quickly the 4 times the charm machine gun gets super energy back. That was really good damage too. There's Radiant. And now we have our Nova Bomb available. So that Nova Bomb will weaken him. We'll finish off the boss with a Telesto. And that should do it. Yeah, I'm wondering if you could maybe go a different direction in the weapon department. Perhaps going with something like the scatter signal and the kinetic slot. To allow you to go ahead and get that radiant buff with a legendary weapon, which would then open up your exotic slot. Because I feel like the Telesto aspect of this, it's fun. However, from a practicality standpoint, I feel like you could have a legendary fusion rifle that could do the same job that the Telesto is doing. Don't get me wrong, I like using the Telesto, and I like that this build kind of creates a way that Telesto can be somewhat relevant. But if you really wanted to make this particularly solid for endgame applications, I feel like opening up your exotic slot could do something big for that. The question is, what energy primary ammo exotic weapon would you use if you decided to go for something like the scatter signal route? Or alternatively, if you wanted to do something like null composure and stick with the void fusion rifle and keep it in the energy slot, what exotic primary weapon would you run in the kinetic slot? Ooh, this is gonna be a big Nova Bomb. Perfect. Right off the top of my head, something that comes into mind, because, you know, they mentioned the importance of osmosis. And I think, furthermore, I think a very important part of this build is just having high ability uptime. I'm wondering if something like Traveler's Chosen in the kinetic slot, along with Null Composure, the Void Fusion Rifle, and the energy slot could prove worthwhile. That's not to say that this configuration of the build is bad, and, you know, like I said, I think Telesto is a very fun gun to use, and I like the setup for it. And Telesto certainly brings, you know, certain things at the table that, you know, its non-exotic counterparts also bring. I'm just not 100% sure if this is something you would want to take in some of the Grandmaster Night ones. This wave always feels really quick. You know, like... Okay, let's make sure we're maintaining our Devour, because I really want that grenade back. It's kind of what I want to prioritize right now. So let's go ahead and go down on these dudes. Should do a pretty good job of getting our grenade back up. Ooh, this is good Telesto real estate right here. Whoa. And that dude is getting cooked by the volatile rounds. Right? Oh no! That is not what I wanted to do. Alright. So there's our Devourer back. I'm gonna try and set up the little Empowering Rift encampment right here. I guess I didn't really have to though, because I had Radiant from that fusion rifle kill. We're just gonna let target lock import times the charm do its thing. But like I said, most people. Oh, good, perfect situation to get Devourer right there. That was fantastic. We really needed that. We were absolutely 1 HP. We'll get a full heal when we kill this guy. He is. Catch. Okay, his shield is down. I still have Devour up, so let's get a kill on these guys so we get our full heal and extend the Devour. And also get a little bit of grenade energy back as well. And let's see if we can beam this boss right here. Which is perfect, because the boss is sitting right here. So I'll blast him with my machine gun. Then the Radiant's about to run out. So I'll circle around. I'm going to kill a couple of these dudes to make sure I keep my Devourer buff going. Reload the machine gun again, and then I want to get back down to the boss. Get a grenade to weaken, Empowering Rift to get the 25% damage buff. And hopefully Nova Bomb to finish him off. Can't really see him. But, oh, that's why I can't see him. Just have 2 Will It Build videos in a row without getting killed by spikes. Believe in us. We can do it. Those spikes right there are brutal, though. Okay, let's get our Devourer out. Never mind, that guy just fell off the cliff. wyverns here. Okay, player cover. Yeah, the damage of Telesto is really starting to prove to be not particularly great now that we're in the higher light level echelons of content. Ooh, those supplicants absolutely destroyed me. What is this spawning right next to me? Oh, if I can kill him in time, I keep my Devour. No, I just barely couldn't get it. But that should do the trick. What if my... Oh yeah. So if my Child of the Old Gods kills them with the Drain, there's our Radiant. So we can go ahead and drop these Wyverns. I mean, when you have the Radiant up, it feels really good. In conjunction with the Child of the Old Gods doing the weakening, or your grenades doing the weakening. That doesn't feel bad. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh, there's a Wyvern. There's our Devour at least, though. There's our Radiant buff. Yeah, the key is to kind of light up a red bar target with your fusion rifle first so you can get the Radiant, and then you can start blasting the... Get our power nerf down as well. Trying to stagger the Wyvern to reveal its crit. Or I'll just body shot it until it dies. That works too. Okay, taking a little bit too much heat. We're gonna rotate around so he doesn't have the angle on us anymore. And I'll maybe play a little head glitch into him. And finish him with the Telesto. Nice. An impressive accomplishment, if I do say so myself. All right, I'm gonna have to be kind of sneaky for damaging this Wyvern because this crit is on his back, so I'm gonna have to kind of. Oh, this laser beam just goes straight through the. Wait, that's hilarious. You don't even have to hop to hit him. Okay, how many times is this Minotaur gonna? Okay, is there anything more annoying in Destiny than when the Minotaurs just continuously just do their little blink? Boom. Nova. Nope. Stop shooting at me, please. Oh, I got Devoured to proc. Okay, boom. There's our Radiant. Looking at his back, too. I had the angle. Now I don't have the angle. Oh, it was set up so perfectly. Trying to maybe kill some of these Harpies with splash damage so I can get Radiant. And not quite. It's a good effort. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get a different angle. We'll bully this Hobgoblin. Do I deserve it? No, I don't think so. Do I get why it's happening? Okay, we're gonna butter this guy up, kill him with the ability that gives us Devour. Fighting for my life over here. I am not here. No bomb, dummy. Yeah, walk into the grenade. There, weakened. How do you feel? Hold up. Catch. Stop it. What I meant to say was, oh yes. That was the most stressed out I've been this entire year. So, will it build in lower end content? I think it is a very fun way to incorporate Telesto into a fun little like void science project thing that you got going on. In higher end content, I'm not entirely sure it can hang with the big boys. I think you'd be better off occupying your exotic slot with something that's a little more potent. I just think Telesto's damage is not anything exceptional when you're stacked up against tankier enemies and nothing exceptional when you're stacked up against bosses. But in that lower end content, you can more easily kind of take out their, smash red bars and go ahead and get that Radiant buff pretty easily and maintain it pretty frequently, and then go ahead and use your other weapons to go ahead and smash everything while you have that Radiant buff and extend your Devourer buff. So in lower end content, absolutely yes, it will build. Definitely wins 1,000 silver. Thank you so much for the submission. This is the final array of mods that we had set up. If you want to go ahead and take a screenshot right here, make sure you comment down below to enter that giveaway for the card deck, and make sure you join my Discord server linked in the description so you can post your build in the Will It Build channel to have a chance of being featured in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.